Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. I'm able to be heard on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Google. And of course, follow me on Instagram at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Now, I'm going to get right into the introduction. This talented artist, she is a singer, a dog lover, and a contestant of this upcoming season of The Voice. So without further ado, please welcome Lana Love. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's a great intro.
Thank you.
Dog lover for sure.
In honor of your love for dogs, ready? I have a joke for you, okay?
I'm so excited.
What do dogs and my phone have in common?
What? I don't know.
They both have caller ID.
Hey, but yes, I might steal that one.
I love it. There's the dad joke for you. So you do something remarkable. You take the overflow of rescue dogs. Is that right?
Yeah. So anytime there would be, an extra dog, we had minimum 7 dogs at all times. 6 were in the family, and then we would always take one. So an extra, or sometimes they would even come in pairs. So in that case, I would just help out the owner of the rescue and foster them until they found a home. So it was super rewarding and just so healing.
So you've always been around rescue dogs and stuff like that. When did you get into this?
I've been vegan for the past 12 years of my life. And so it started there. And I had watched all the, Netflix documentaries and whatnot, Forks Over Knives and those sorts of things. And then since then, I kind of just said, you know what? I don't even think I personally need meat in my life. Don't have a problem if other people, choose differently. But I just made that decision for myself. And then I wound up in homes, essentially, where the owner had a surplus of animals. Like, my previous home prior to the one I'm in now, the woman who owned the house she had 6 animals, like different kinds of animals. We had a bird, we had an African gray.
So you've always been around animals.
Yeah, I just have, and I've always loved them. And in a room, if there's a dog, the dog will come to me. It senses that I love them, and they will come to me and just like claim me by by my feet. And so it's just always been a connection of mine that I've had.
Dogs definitely know that stuff. I've rescued dogs my whole life, and they definitely do know that. They know when you genuinely love them, if you're a dog person, because their energy, and my energy is more of a dog person, if that makes sense. I love animals, but I feel like my energy is more of a dog person in the sense of I'm very outgoing. I'm very, hi, how's it going? How's your day? And I feel like a dog is that way when you walk in the door from a long day of work, and they're like, oh, how's it going? They're like all over you. That's how I am. So I feel like I relate more towards dogs, and I've always been a dog person. I love them. And they're like people. They really have like a little personality.
They do. And I so resonate with what you just said. And I love that you're a dog person, because I could see you like light up. And it's so amazing. I think also dog people just get each other too.
They do.
Because dogs really do sense the truth of you.
Yes.
And so I guess that's why, and they're so in the moment. And I love to just like watch how in the moment they are. In acting class, they always say, watch a dog.
Yeah. Because they're real.
Because they're real, and they're so in the moment, and they just ask for exactly what they want. And they will not stop until you give them what they want. So.
And I love the little faces they make at you, because it's like they just stare at you, and they, even though they can't say anything, they're saying a lot. And that's the thing. Like I again love cats too. I love dog, but I'm more of a dog person. I just prefer them. I've always have. That's just always been me. I grew up with dogs. And yeah, now I almost don't know what it's like to have a life without a dog. It's like I need a dog.
Do you have a dog now?
I do. I have two. Yeah, I have 2, and they're hilarious. One is a black lab mix, and he's like 90 pounds. And then I have another one who's like a little wiener dog, and he's like 10 pounds. But they have like the same color coat. I'm a big dog person, and unfortunately, I had another one that passed away about a year and a half ago. We had to put her down, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
you know,
Sorry to hear that. So
it re-
hard.
it is it's like
So
losing a
hard.
family member. It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I was
is.
devastated. But I've rescued all of them, and those rescues, they just they have this sort of love that is like you can't describe it. They just have a love for you that I've never felt it in a way like it's weird. I know it's weird to other people, but I love it. I love it. I know there are some people that don't understand what it is to be a dog lover, but these pets, they really
I'm
do.
glad we unite. We
Yeah,
unite, us dog lovers.
they have a bind on your heart. Like I read something that said temporary friends with a life lasting impact, and it couldn't be more true. Those little
Mm.
boogers, love them. You gotta love
Oh,
them.
I love that. Too, with rescue dogs, I find that no matter how much trauma the dog has experienced, it still finds a way to love. It
Yes.
normally takes a couple weeks for them to calm down. A lot of them are very ferocious, and I would get some that would, bite me a little bit
Yeah.
just for petting them because they're so scared and whatever it is they've been through. But by the end of the week, they're crawling all over me and loving me. And I just think like the resilience of that is such a great thing to see for humans because they're able to do that in a week. And we carry our trauma with us for 30 years.
Yeah. You're from Glendale, California, is that right?
Yeah, I kind of bounce around in Cali. I'm a sublet kind of gal right now, free flowing. So I happen to be in downtown LA at this particular moment.
Wow, LA.
Um, yeah, baby. Where are you at?
I'm over right currently. I'm on the East Coast right now. So
Where on East Coast are you?
Massachusetts. So
Come on.
opposite end. But I did take a trip to LA over the summer, and I visited Disneyland, Anaheim, San Diego. So I had a good time. On my. It was a very brief trip, but I had a great time. It's always fun out there.
Oh yeah, and I love Disneyland. I actually just went there last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it was just so fun.
Yeah, I
The
went to.
little kid in me I become like a little princess, like a
Yeah.
5-year-old. I do, and I just love it, and I forget about the world, and like actually dressed up as a princess. I did like
Oh,
cosplay,
you did. That's
and
awesome.
all the little girls thought that I was Elsa.
Oh, I could see that. I could see you going as Elsa.
And I did have my long hair and I braided it and I put like little gemstones in my hair and I had this blue dress, like light blue. And
Yeah.
all these little girls came up to me and they were like, "Can we take a photo?"
Oh,
And and I was wearing my legend jacket too. And it
yeah.
was just like such a fun moment to, some of the little girls were like, "I watched the show," and that's just what it's about. And it was just it was so
Absolutely.
fun.
You do become a little kid because I found even with myself, I was like running up to I went to Avengers Campus and I was
Yeah.
running up to Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, and I'm like, "Can I take a picture with you? Can I take a picture with you?" And I felt like I was a little
So
kid.
corny.
It is, right? It's
So corny, and I love
like
it.
I'm almost 30 years old, and here I am running to these full-grown adults in a costume. But it's a good time. It's a good
We're
time,
always kids.
right?
Even when I'm 50, I'm going to be doing that. When I'm 99, if
That's
they will let me in the park, I will be there.
I couldn't agree more because I always say to people, I say when they say, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'm like, I'm not going to grow up, so I don't know. Like, you're a vivacious individual, and you said that
Thank you.
started as a little girl, right? So, because I mean, you dressed up and pranced around your house in your outfits, and you still do it now.
I still
So,
do it. I'm wearing my love pants
oh, I love that. I love
for
that.
you.
Yeah,
And they're like pajamas,
yeah,
so
right.
that's mainly the reason. But I also did it for you.
Thank you, thank you. I like that, Lana Love. Yep, there you go.
On brand.
That's not a stage name, right? That's Love is your last name.
Oh, it's a stage name.
Oh, it is a stage name.
It was delivered to me.
Who
It was like delivered is probably a funny way of putting it, but I realized that love was the one thing I knew nothing about
Mhm.
and the one most important thing here on this planet. And so I thought if I name myself it, that I'd have to figure it out.
I was just saying that the other day, how it's so confusing to me. Love is so confused because and this is why I say it's confusing. So two people can genuinely dislike each other. They can genuinely hate each other or not even know who each other are. But then something happens, and then the chemicals in their brains are changing, and then they start to see something in that person that they like, and then it evolves into stronger feelings, and then you end up falling for that person and you fall in love with that person. So I was saying it the other day. I was like, it literally is one of the most confusing things on this planet to me. It really is. It's right up there with like some other crazy conspiracy theories, because to me, I'm like, if you really think about it, I'm like, you like, we're meant to love. We're meant to love, that, like, that we're meant to be in tribes around people. But how do you go from not knowing a person in 1 month, and then all of a sudden you start to get feelings for them, and then you love them in 5 months, 6 months? That's why I'm like, wow, it is a crazy concept, but it's cool. It's cool to talk about. It's cool to think about. But
It is, because there's no definition for it.
right.
And it's defined by you, and it's defined by the moment, and it changes in every moment.
Yep.
And if you ask Siri or Google what the definition of love is, she'll say, oh, someone you admire, or something, a broadened version of what love is. But I think it's vibrational. I think it's in every moment, if you can find it. And I think it's to varying degrees that you can feel it and you allow it in that moment. Like right now, this conversation is a version of love. Like, there's only positive feelings. There's only, just a positive vibrational exchange, essentially. That's still love. Like looking at a dog,
Yeah.
that's love too. Looking at a kid, tapping into your inner child, going to Disneyland, that's love too. Like, these are all different aspects of love, which is why I don't think we've like hit the nail on the head on a definition, because there isn't a definition for it. It's just a feeling, and how receptive you are to that feeling.
No, I couldn't agree more.
I've done a lot of thinking about this since I named myself it. When I was 12, I bought the sheet music for John Legend's Ordinary People.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of the first songs. I decided to stop taking lessons and stop my classical route, because it was just way too time consuming for me. I wanted to do other things. I wanted to dance and sing. And so, but that was one of the first pieces of music I bought. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and learn it. And I was like 11 years old, just practice all day, all night. And it's so funny, because right before I auditioned, my blind audition, they had a piano in the room that you can like either warm up in, or, they're shooting different things with our families. And I sat there and I played Ordinary People. That was the first song that came to my mind. And I closed my eyes and I played. And it's the only song I can play with my eyes closed and full-length acrylic nails.
Wow.
To this day.
To this day.
Which is hard.
Yeah, it's I can't.
Hard with these.
I can hardly play an instrument with my eyes open. So the fact that you can do a full song with your eyes closed and acrylic nails.
That's the only one I could play, though, with it.
Yeah. Still impressive, though. Still impressive. Your mom and your grandmother helped you become the woman that you are today. So in your words, how important were those relationships for you?
Oh, they're everything. I essentially grew up without a father figure in my life, although now we've mended that, which has been important for me. But just growing up in that female energy and having to go from everything to nothing. When my parents split, we ended up living at my grandma's house in Naples, Florida, and I moved from Atlanta to Naples, and we lived with her, and I went to high school essentially living in a room with my little sister and my grandma and my mom, and we just made it work. And my grandma was always there to take me to play practices. She would take me to my lessons. She was really the reason why I was able to develop the way that I did theatrically and with music, because my mom would work all day and she would get home very late. So my grandma would pick me up from school and take me to all my rehearsals, and so that I could still have a life. outside of school. And she was just a total light. And she's super German, super stoic. And she just loved me unconditionally. And so did my mom. And so it was, I did have a lot of love for the lack that was there from the father figure. I had a lot of love in that way. So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you. I appreciate you being vulnerable, sharing those moments that you've had.
My blind audition.
Yep.
When John turned, I felt like she whispered in his ear.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt that, but I just did. I just knew she was there. And maybe it's my own mind making things up, but I really could feel her, and the nerves left my body, and it just became, it became like her living through me. And yeah.
Well, actually, I'm glad that you brought up the blind audition, and you did a great job. John Legend did turn around for you, so you made the show. You seemed pretty confident, in my opinion, while you were performing. I don't know if it's stage presence or what, but I thought that you looked pretty confident on my end. Was that not the case for you? Were you internally freaking out?
I was so freaking out. I over the years I've developed ways of not letting it show. I hope at least, but oh my gosh, I was so nervous. But when he turned for me, immediately relief just like went over my body. It was like, honestly, this big, beautiful blur. Like, I just remember getting out there being like, okay, you got this, you can do this. And also me tapping into my grandma helped.
Yep.
Too, because I could feel like she was there.
Is there anything that you would have told yourself to do differently or to change or anything like that? Is there any advice you would have given to Lana 6-7 months ago before she went and did the blind auditions?
I would say don't quit before the miracle.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh. Oh my God, this just popped into my head, and I'm just gonna say it off cuss. I hate when when people don't claim their flatulence.
Really? You hate when people don't?
I hate that. If you're gonna do it, you need to claim it, because I'm not taking it for you.
You need to own it. So if somebody,
own it.
So
I don't know why that popped into my head.
So now we here on the Reyes Reflection, if somebody farts in front of Lana, you have to.
You better claim it. I don't care if you did it. I just want to know so that I'm not feeling crazy.
Yeah. Well, you also don't want people to be like, oh, like you don't want that. So
even if I don't know you, just let me know. In fact, I'd like to get to know you better if you claim it, instead of like looking around to see if someone noticed. Yes, we all noticed.
Well,
this is really interesting.
I have a question for you then. I have a question.
Okay. Oh no.
A sub question. Okay. You're on an elevator, okay, with someone, and they rip one, okay, but you don't hear it. You just smell it. What are you doing at that moment in time?
I am staring them down
until they confess.
Yeah, or I'll give I will give side eye. That might be the only moment that I give side eye.
You'll be like, I know it's you. You need to go ahead and admit this right now, and we can move on.
Right? I'll even cock my head and be like, then I'll shake it. I'll shake it.
You're like, we can be friends. I just need to know.
Did
you fart?
Or else it's over. Yeah. I'm leaving this elevator and I will never talk to you again.
I love it. That was a good one. I like that. I don't know. I love pet peeves, because to me, there's some things that bother people and there's other things that don't. So I always love listening. I always love asking people what their biggest pet peeve is. So thank you. And now I know that if I ever let one out near you, I have to go ahead and say, hey, that was me. If
we go to Disneyland on Tower of Terror, potentially the most horrifying elevator there is,
Oh,
You better let me know,
I didn't
or
even
else I'm dropping you.
I didn't even think about that. That is the most terrifying elevator. So,
Oh God, can't do it.
what do you do to de-stress?
Meditate,
Okay.
tea, and I light incense in my room and I clear the energy with sage.
Oh, okay.
And I have like a crystal, I have little crystals laid out. My karaoke song actually has, I have two that I do and they come with full costumes. So if I know I'm going to karaoke, I have sunglasses, I have a hat, like I'm ready to go. So I either sing Elvis, A Little Less Conversation, I do the hip thrusts along with it, or I sing my all-time favorite, which is Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah.
And I do a, might I say, phenomenal rendition of that song. And sometimes there are opera notes that come out as I'm rapping. And I know every single word by heart, and like I could just
As you're rapping, there's opera notes that hit. Wow.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
So wait a minute. You know every word in that song?
Yeah.
I do not. Wow. That is impressive. I just know Baby Got Back. That's like I know the song.
All you really need to know.
Yeah.
If it came on, you'd be able to just
I'd be able. Oh, that was impressive. That was a good pop sound. I know enough to be able to go like, Baby Got Back. You know what I mean? Like,
that's all you need. That's all you need.
What is one question or topic that you wished I brought up, or that you wish to discuss?
You know, I feel like you rather did a wonderful job of bringing the real in. I always think with podcasts and when I listen to podcasts, I love to leave with the education aspect of it in some way. But we really got to the truth and the heart of things, which I think is so important. And the reason why we would sit down and do this. But I loved the advice question, but I think even more so, one thing that would have helped me rather when I was on the show was different ways to calm my nerves. And I've always dealt with a certain level of anxiety, performance anxiety, that I've struggled with for most of my life, honestly.
Yeah.
And even though I've been doing this for 30 years, it's tough to get out there and like really be open with people especially when you have cameras on you and, hair and makeup that you've been sitting in for 24 hours and a lot of things thrown your way. And I think I've developed a lot of different ways of calming myself, but nothing can really prepare you for the moment because it's different every time you do it. I was very anxious and very nervous of how I would be received by the world. It was my first really big national exposure. And so I felt the weight of that, but I wish I would have just accepted where I was earlier on in my life and in my career. And now I really am starting to. I think when John turned, it was just confirmation for me that I was on the right path.
Yeah. Where can listeners find you, follow you, see your content, all that stuff?
Yeah, you can follow me at Lana Love Music, and I'm on Spotify as Lana Love. And my TikTok is at Lana Love, not Del Rey.
That's clever. That is clever.
Thanks.
I like that.
And thank you for having me and just for your kind words and your receptivity. It's been so lovely to chat with you this morning. So I'm grateful to be here.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you doing this. In 7th grade, I had a crush on a girl. And she said, and full disclosure, my eyes and nose were always big from my face. I think it's done well.
Evened out, yeah.
Now puberty has done well on me, but I share this because my eyes and nose are always big from my face, and I liked it. I had a big crush on this girl, And I said to her, I said, yeah, you know, I'd love to like go to the movies with you or something like that. And she goes, you look like a Neanderthal. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
"Why?"
I had to get a spray tan once for a show, and they dyed my hair brown because I was playing Gabriella in High School Musical, which I should never have played.
Yeah, you Sharpay.
I should have played Sharpay, but we live in Naples, so
Yeah,
you
so
know,
a lot, a
there's a lot of blondes
lot
there.
of competition. Yep,
A
yep.
lot of competition for that role. So I was playing Gabrielle, and I remember my spray tan was coming off a little bit, and then people at school didn't want to sit next to me because they were like, "You have skin cancer," and I
Oh,
was like, "No, I don't." And then they called me Oompa Loompa.
oh my goodness. See, I'm telling you, no, these experiences, I laugh at them now, dude.
Trauma.
They're to me, I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, I was an ugly kid. It's
Yeah,
okay. I love myself now. I move on. It is what it
yeah.
is. But as we bonded over our trauma, thank you so much again for doing this
Thank
episode.
you.
I hope hopefully we can do another one in the future. I can't wait to see what you do. Again, you have a fan for life in me, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
Thank you. This was so fun, and we'll do it again.
Awesome. So
Let's
that is
do it.
going to do it for today. For more interviews, subscribe to the Reyes Reflection Podcast anywhere you get your podcast. For any updates, clips, news on future episodes, follow me on Instagram at I'm Nathanael Reyes. We're wrapped for today. And you know the deal. May you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm the male Oprah. I love you all.